And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Olive, Nina, and Esme. Olive, Nina, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes," said Olive, Nina, and Esme. One day, the king of Onlyville's messenger said, hear ye, the king of Onlyville is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Singling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Olive said, he's going to marry me. Nina said, no way, Olive. He's going to marry me. Esme said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Singling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what is wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I wanted her to go to the ball and marry Prince Singling, but I'm not welcome. The fairy godmother waved her wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! And then, Cinderella's chores are all done. But the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has one pumpkin. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! Again, to turn Cinderella's do-rag and clothes into a gown. I've never seen such a wonderful gown. I get a load of my glass slippers, and then the pumpkin into a carriage drawn by 2 strong horses. The fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Singling was wondering who he should marry. Olive, Nina, and Esme said all together, he's walking towards me. But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Singling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Singling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Onlyville to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where her Cinderella and her stepsisters lived. He said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try this glass slipper? Olive is first, but her foot is too big. Nina is next, but her foot is too small. Esme is last, but her foot didn't fit either. Suddenly, Prince Singling noticed Cinderella singing. Cinderella said, Prince Singling, is that you? Prince Singling said, of course it's me. Cinderella gets so excited because she's having to have her Prince Singling back. And they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story before bed, Hinder's Doors. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to my video. Take care. Bye and good night, everybody. Andrew's Doers. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella 2 Wishes Come True. It's this. It is based on Cinderella 2 Dreams Come True. Once upon two times, Cinderella and Prince Singling were happily married. 6 months later, they are pregnant, but Cinderella is sick, so the baby might die. Cinderella's fairy godmother knows a spell that can cure her. She chants the magic words, "Winnerly, wannerly, one," and waves her magic wand, and the baby is cured. And the baby is a boy named Oliver. Olive, Nina, and Esme have a few tricks up their sleeves, though. They are complaining about not marrying Prince Singling. Another 6 months later, Oliver is almost 6 months old. And he can't wait to have his royal birthday party, and it's tomorrow. The next day is Oliver's royal birthday party. Cinderella asks, what about our gift, father-in-law? Oliver has now a magical necklace previously owned by the King of Onlyville when he was a baby. He needs to make a wish, rub the jewel on it, and the wish will come true. The King of Onlyville's imaginary wakes him up now. Sees that Olive, Nina, and Esme are breaking into the party. He says, "Oh no, they're trouble! Oh, big trouble!" He then goes over to the king and tells him, "Your Majesty, your son and daughter-in-law are in trouble." The King of Onlyville gets so infuriated, he yells, "Sound the alarm!" The King of Onlyville blows a trumpet that the king's guards hear an attack. Olive, Nina, and Esme attempt to escape. Oliver said, and I wish Olive, Nina, and Esme are trapped, rubs the jewel on it. Olive, Nina, and Esme are now trapped in the castle's dungeon. And so, the birthday party is saved. And he, alongside his parents, lives happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doors, I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents you guys Andrew's Doors Cinderella 3, Love and Glee, the second sequel to Cinderella based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon 3 times, Cinderella and Prince Singling really loved each other. Well, that's about to change, thanks to Olive, Nina, and Esme, who are making a single forever breakup potion, the most evil magic potion known to Onlyville. The next day is Oliver's very first birthday party. Olive, Nina, and Esme sneak up behind a fence next to the gate to the party. Cinderella's fairy godmother tries to stop them, but Olive, Nina, and Esme steal her wand and lock her up, and then splash the potion on Cinderella and Prince Singling, who are breaking up. Oliver asks Wonderella's fairy godmother, "Is there anything I could do to reverse it?" Wonderella's fairy godmother explained that there's only one thing that can reverse the single forever breakup potion. The 1+1 bat together potion. It needs 10 apples from the garden of the whistling nose, 11 dashes of 1,000 unicorns, and the most important ingredient of all, one huge dose of love. First, Oliver needs 10 apples. The whistling nose is very kind. He even lets Oliver have his 10 apples from his trees. Next, he needs 11 dashes of 1,000 unicorns. Hey! The whistling nose already has 11,000 unicorns. Later, back at home, Oliver makes the 1+1 bat together potion, and Wonderella and Prince for singling are bat together, and Wonderella's fairy godmother got her wand back. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers, if you want to see maybe on someday Wonderella 4, The Legend of Mount Singlemore, tell your friends about it. And if you, maybe this can be a 22N daily tradition, etc. Take care, Andrew's Doers. Bye. Andrew's Doers. Andrew knows everything. Proudly presents 43rella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named 43rella. 43rella had 10 ugly, mean stepsisters named Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Hannah, Rosie, and the twins Erin and Emily. Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, and Emily made 43rella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, and Emily all together. One day, the king of Tetracontatrinham's messenger said, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Tetracontatrinham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Tetracontatrinham." But 43rella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They then argue over who will Prince Tetracontatrinham marry. Later, 43rella is so sad that she can't go to the ball and marry Prince Tetracontatrinham. Suddenly, her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, 43rella?" 43rella responds, "I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Tetracontatrinham." 43rella's fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of magic," and waved her magic wand. Because of that, all 43rella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "43rella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, 43rella has 43 pumpkins. 43rella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 43rella's 43 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 86 strong horses. And then 43rella's brick clothes into a gown and crown. 43rella said, "I've never seen such a I quadrigentabletastic gown and get a lot of my glass slippers. How can I ever thank you enough? Her fairy godmother said, well, you can't, but have fun, Cinderella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Quadrigentabling was wondering who he should marry. Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, Emily all say together, he's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Prince Trey, Quadrigentabling then said, may I have this dance? Cinderella's friends, I would be delighted. Prince Trey, Quadrigentabling, and Cinderella danced happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Trey Quadrigentabling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around on a trade or Quadrigentabling to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the house where Cinderella and her stepsisters lived. But instead of Cinderella, Prince Trey Quadrigentabling finds her stepsisters. He then said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Farah was first, but her foot is too big. Olivia's next, but her foot is too small. The rest did the same, but none of the feet were the right size. Suddenly, Prince Trey Quadrigentabling notices Cinderella singing. Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Trey Quadrigentabling back. And Prince Trey Quadrigentabling doesn't have to put the glass slipper back on her foot because it's so uncomfortable. Prince Trey Quadrigentabling and Cinderella then danced happily ever after. The end. And just viewers, if you want to see some sequels, something like that, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 43 Wishes Come True, a sequel to 43 based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we, Andrew Stewards? Once upon two times, Prince Trey Quadrigentabling and Cinderella were happily married. But Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, and Emily have lots of tricks up their sleeves. Several weeks later, Cinderella is pregnant but sick. Cinderella's fairy godmother knows a spell that can cure her. Not a minute too soon. Cinderella is cured, and it was twin boys. Cinderella and Prince Trey Quadrigentabling named them Odie and Teddy to celebrate their birth, a flying lantern. A few years later is the day of Odie and Teddy's very first day of preschool. Their teacher, Mrs. Primes, says, hello, Odie and Teddy. I'm Mrs. Primes, and I'll be your teacher this year. But before she could tour, Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Erin, and Emily kidnap her. Odie and Teddy try to save her, but it starts to rain. "We need to seek shelter," said Odie. Teddy said, "Odie, over there! A cave!" Odie and Teddy go into the cave to get out of the rain. Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, and Emily then throw Mrs. Price into the cave due to the rain. But they find a canyon in the cave. Mrs. Primes whimpers, "Mommy!" as she falls into the canyon. Odie and Teddy try to save her, but she's too deep underground. To make matters worse, a ledge breaks and that causes Odie and Teddy to fall. "Have a nice trip," said Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Aaron, and Emily all together. Luckily, 43 Rella's fairy godmother flies to help. Odie and Teddy grab onto a branch with Mrs. Price on the toe. 40 Rella's fairy godmother cast a spell to form a cushion to save them. And Mrs. Price said, "Odie and Teddy, congratulations! Not only do you get A's for class, but also A's for saving me. And best of all, this present is for being so respectful. It grants 43 wishes." And they all lived happily ever after. The end. And Andrew's Doers, if you want to see what we're out of 3, maybe someday, maybe this can be a big tradition. Take care. Bye. And now Andrew's Doers. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 43 Roll of 3. Trey Quadrigen Top of Love and Glee. A second sequel to 43 Rolla based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon 3 times, Prince Trey, Quadra, Gigi Tumbling, and 43 Rolla really loved each other. Well, that's about to change. Thanks to Farah, Olivia, Ramona, Tanya, Yvonne, Tasha, Hannah, Rosie, Aaron, and Emily, who are making a 43 False Friends breakup potion, the most evil magic potion known to Trey, Quadrigen, and Tumblingham. They sneak up behind a fence, but 43 Rella's fairy godmother tries to stop them, but they lock her up, steal her magic wand, and then splash the potion on Prince Trey, Quadrigen, Tumbling, and 43 Rella, who are now breaking up. Odie and Teddy ask, "Is there anything we can do to reverse the potion?" 43 Rella's fairy godmother explains that there's only one thing to reverse: the 43 False Friends breakup potion. The Trey, Quadrigen, Topple Back Together potion. It needs ingredients: 43,000-year-old acorns, 86 spoonfuls of dragon drool, 119 cups of cilantro, and the most important ingredient of all, 172 huge doses of love. Teddy said, "You know, I think I saw a 1,000-year-old acorn tree. Luckily, just like the recipe, the tree has 43,000-year-old acorns, but a dragon approaches them and spits out 86 spoonfuls of dragon drool just before breathing fire." Later, Odie and Teddy got everything they need to make the Trey, Quadrigen, Topple Back Together potion. And just in time, Prince Trey, Quadrigen, Tumbling, and 43 Rella are back together, and 43 Rella's fairy godmother got her magic wand back. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers, I hope you enjoyed this story. And if you want to see some more sequels, and tell your friends about it, Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Internet Everything. Buy our merchandise on interneteverything.com. Take care. Bye.